What's going on, guys? Welcome back to United View. Hope everyone is doing very well. And just like that, I'm back. And if I'm back, it can only mean one thing.
Breaking news.
There you go. A lot of it in the transfer window. Indeed, we have some breaking news. It may be early, but we're logging on to Ornhub because David Ornstein has just dropped a big exclusive revealing that in the last 24 hours, Manchester United have submitted a double bid for Bayern Munich's Matthijs de Ligt as well as Mazraoui. However, the bid has been rejected, but it's led to a lot of confusion and bemusement, not only from Manchester United, but also from the players themselves, as they were told by Bayern Munich that not only were they surplus to requirements, but that if a bid came in, then Bayern would help them make it happen. They said, well, we'll compromise, and they've not been willing to compromise. This is certainly a big developing story. Let's get straight into this story from David Ornstein, as I mentioned, dropping in just the last few minutes. He is reporting that Manchester United have submitted an opening double offer to sign Matthijs de Ligt and Mazraoui from Bayern Munich. The Old Trafford hierarchy want to bolster their ranks by landing both defenders and stepped up their pursuit on Thursday via a joint bid. So as I mentioned, this bid's gone in just the last 24 hours for both players. It's quite interesting because previously it had been suggested that the pursuit of either player was separate, but now it's become a bit of a joint entity. Of course, reminder, they are represented by the same agent and at the same club. Ornstein continues by saying there was optimism at United and among the players' representatives that this would satisfy Bayern's expectations for the squad members they deemed to be surplus to requirements. But the proposal was rejected and the Bundesliga side told their Premier League counterparts it will need a higher fee to reach the agreement with talks ongoing. That must be stressed in this article. They haven't said what fee was put out there by Manchester United. I'm sure that will come out at a later date, but in the article they don't actually say what the fee is. Now, as I mentioned, this has led to confusion by a lot of people involved in this. David Ornstein is writing it has caused some bemusement in the camp of de Ligt and Mazraoui, represented by the same agent, Rafaela Pimenta, based on their understanding of what it would require to get a deal over the line. This is why it's led to this confusion, because Bayern informed the pair before the summer market even opened that neither were part of their plans and transfers should be sought, insisting the club would compromise to help the process. Therefore, they thought, well, now we've got offers on the table, we've both agreed personal terms, you told us we're not part of the plans, you told us to seek out transfers, we've got a transfer ready, so why are you rejecting this bid? You said you would help us seek out this transfer. Now, this resistance to United's inquiry subsequently that they met led to de Ligt and Mazraoui's people, their representatives, asking Bayern whether or not things had changed. Has your stance changed on these players, or have your stance changed on the centre-back and full-back? And yet Bayern reiterated their position. Both players are still surplus to requirements. They're still not part of the Bayern Munich plans. So why have you rejected the bid? Well, Ornstein writes, if that is the case, the longer the situation lasts, the more financially costly it may become to Bayern, given their sizable salaries, with essentially United going, look, we can solve this problem for you. You've got two players that you don't want, surplus to requirements. They don't want to be here now. Everything's ready here. You're just saying no. But it's quite curious indeed that they're leaving out the fee, one would think. Ornstein concludes by saying personal terms for de Ligt and Mazraoui are already in place on 5-year contracts, which include an option to extend by 12 months. Now, what's really, I think, interesting about this story, and let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section below. What's really interesting, I think, about this story is I'm not surprised about Mazraoui. I'm not surprised that a bid's gone in for Mazraoui, because that, to me, suggests this Aaron Wan-Bissaka deal is very, very, very close. We had already heard from Florian Plettenberg. Personal terms had been agreed between Wan-Bissaka and West Ham. There had been a bit of a discussion over the fee. West Ham wanting to pay 10 million, whereas Manchester United looking closer to an 80 million pound package. But there's a bit of an acceptance there, isn't there, that this one is going to happen. So it doesn't shock me that Manchester United would put a bid in for Mazraoui, knowing that this Wan-Bissaka deal is about to conclude. I suppose the really surprising part of it is the de Ligt element of it, because we had been told previously, hadn't we, that, well, the de Ligt transfer does depend on what happens with another centre-back. United have to sell to buy for all of the positions. Therefore, you're looking at like a Victor Lindelof or a Harry Maguire, even though Maguire's most likely going to stay, to depart, and then de Ligt you can go after him. So the fact that Manchester United have submitted a double bid, or a joint bid rather, for both players, that would maybe suggest again that maybe there is enough money, they think, to again get this, to get this deal done on over the line. Bayern have rejected it. I think it would be really useful to know how much the offer is for, because then you can maybe judge as to whether Bayern Munich are justified or not. For instance, if it's like a double bid of, let's say, like £40 million for both players, they would be within the right to go, well, we're asking for like 40 million for De Ligt, let alone for Mazraoui. So it'd be interesting to see just how much Manchester United did offer for both players. But I think it's a real significant step forward. We know the Mazraoui one, that's happening. That's going to happen. Mazraoui will join Manchester United. The De Ligt one, my prediction was that we would sign fullback, centre-back, midfielder. Maybe it's an indication of the McTominay one being a bit close and them having to go, look, we just, because of the injury to Lenny Yoro, because of the need to get another centre-back, with that McTominay money, we'll kind of just put it onto De Ligt, and then hopefully we can figure out something, whether it's a loan or a low-cost option for midfield or something like that. So I think Manchester United will go back in. I think it's encouraging news that whilst it was rejected and there was some concern of, well, we were of the understanding, because this feels to me like Manchester United had been talking to the agent of both players, and the agent said to them, look, both guys have been told their surplus requirements. This is the number I think it would cost to get both of them out. Submit this one. They've already been told that they're out. We can get this done quickly. And then United have gone, all right, let's put the bid in then. Put the bid in. It's been rejected. And then United turn to the agent and go, I thought this was going to be enough. And according to Ornstein, the agent's like, well, so did I. I thought it was going to be enough too. So I'm a bit confused, which has then led to them to go back, or the agent to go back to Bayern and go, has anything changed here? I mean, I thought that they were surplus to requirements, and Bayern are like, yeah, they are still surplus to requirements, but we want a bit more. So it'll be interesting to see how much more they do want. We do know that United and Bayern, particularly for De Ligt, have been a bit apart on this transfer fee for quite some time for him. So I think United go in for another bid. How much they'll raise their offer by, how much they can actually raise their offer by, considering the FFP and PSR circumstances, we'll have to wait and see when it comes to that. But it certainly is a significant development, not so much for the Mazraoui one, but for the De Ligt one. And I think it's really promising, really, really promising. And I think now it's just going to be interesting to see if United, or how quickly they do go back in, how quickly they feel that they can do this deal. But there is legitimate, real efforts clearly by Manchester United to get both players, not just the fullback, but also the centre-back. So what are your thoughts on that bit of breaking news? Let me know your thoughts or reaction to it in the comment section below. And what do you think happens next with this? Do you think United go back in straight away? How quickly do you think a deal can be done? What do you think this says about the likes of Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Scott McTominay, and possibly your Victor Lindelofs and things of that nature? Let me know your reaction to it in the comment section below. A reminder, Flex and KG show is coming up later today, as well as plenty more content. And of course, you know me, if there's any more breaking news, I'll be here. I'm out of here. Peace.